Welcome, loves, to day 13 of 33 of reading for you, my loves, my collective. This is the deck I will be using to be reading the overall energies today. This is my power deck. This is what the back looks like. This is what the front looks like. This is the stone that the deck chose. I heard things are a little rocky, and I'm seeing a rocky coast, but you're standing above it all. So overall energy currently is, even when you see that everything else is uneasy, you can stand above it. You can rise above it, and you're really seeing the bigger picture. And for advice, I have this Latin phrases deck that I had made. This is the front of the deck, and this is the back. I used some Nightmare Before Christmas stickers on it, and some emoji stickers on it, and this is the stone the deck chose. I think this is an obsidian heart. So I'll read that energy later. Today is all about your guidance for today from your spiritual family, what to keep in mind as you go throughout your day today. So I'm going to be asking 6 different questions. Let's tap into this collective energy. I'd like to tap into not just my loves, but the energy of the collective at all. And I know that's a lot to ask for, but let's see what's really going on in the world, and how to really keep your feet on the ground. Normally I try to just focus on you, my loves, when it comes to these collective readings, but I want to see kind of a broader perspective of what's going on in the world and your specific guidance when it comes to just you at the time. Right now I'm reading a book called Earth in the Balance. It's a book from 1992 by Al Gore. And it's about, well, I'll show it to you 1 second. It's a really big book. I'm not even halfway through yet. I try to read a chapter a day, but it's about ecology and the human spirit. Basically, I was a year old when this came out, and a lot of things that I've read about so far, I'm to chapter 4. I believe chapter 4 has something in the title about Buddha, but it really talks about how the world is affected overall by like global warming and natural occurrences that happen that affect, nature versus nature, kind of how we affect nature and how we affect each other based on what happens in nature. In some of the chapters I've read so far, I've noticed a few things currently kind of repeating themselves, so it was good timing for me to read this book. I will tell you, if you don't like non-fiction, basically like books that are kind of boring but have lots of information, I wouldn't recommend this book. But if you're someone who really wants to like connect to history and how the world has been affected and how we affect the world and how we affect each other based on the world, I would recommend it. It's been eye-opening for me. History was always one of my second worst subjects. Math was my first worst subject in school. History was my second worst. I always was the best in language arts, and then my second best was science. I don't know how I was good at science, but I was. It was interesting to me. So, if you're interested in that book, feel free to pick it up. Like I said, it was published, I believe it said 1992. I was a year old, but I still find the information to be very relevant. And I randomly, once again, found it at a thrift store for like 50 cents. And I saw the book was originally closer to like $30. And I was like, here's all this information for only 50 cents. That's totally awesome. Why don't I just get it? I just have a tendency to find these books, and sometimes I just feel drawn to reading it, and when I do, a lot of times I find it quite valuable and quite relevant for this time frame. So, if you want to read the same thing I'm reading, and you want to be a part of like a mini book club, feel free to join. Or you can just, I would say that you could try and get like Cliff Notes or something, but to me this is one of these books that you're better off just reading the whole thing to like get a true perspective on basically what the world used to be like and what it's headed towards, and how it's very interesting that history can repeat itself. So, let's get started. My first question is, what message does your spiritual family have for you? And how does it pertain to what's going on in the world? So you and what's going on around you, basically. Question number 2, why is this message so important specifically for you? Why is this message specifically important for you? There we go. And why is this message important in regards to what's going on in the world? How can you be more open to messages from your spiritual family? All those wanted to pop out. And how will this help you navigate in the world? How can you better connect with your spiritual family? How can you better connect with your spiritual family? That one flew out. So this is quite important. So I'm going to put it a bit sideways. And how's this going to help you better to navigate in what's going on in the world? Alright, how's your spiritual family trying to connect with you right now? And how is this connection better helping you to connect with the world? That's quite a lot. That's quite a book right there. Alright. And last question. What will change for you after this reading? 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 And how will the world change after this reading? How will the world change after this reading? Alright. And the overall energy, we have Selena in Virgo, skilled and powerful healer. I'm hearing the world is awakening at this time, and you're being called to awaken in a brand new way so you can handle new things that are about to happen around you, through you, to those close to you. And it's not only going to help you handle past situations better, you will be able to handle future situations better as well. So first question, message about your day today. Ignoring emotions with pleasure, Lilith in Sagittarius. Some of you want to keep doing things because it feels good to you, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you. And as for the world, we have Scorpio, focused, keeping secrets, never surrendering. We have portal controller, you can open and close portals because you see them. Lilith in Libra, transformation, inner work, change. Moon in Capricorn, lust, wet dreams. Moon in Pisces, duality, sensuality versus values. Venus in Virgo, learning the easy way versus the hard way. And Selena, white moon, conscious self, higher self, inspiration, melody, inner light. Just because something looks good, it doesn't mean it's good for you. Just because something feels good temporarily, will it really make you feel good long term? So maybe you see other people around the world doing things. They look like they're having so much fun doing it. You don't think it'd be very fun for you, but maybe you try it because you want to be happy like them, when in reality, these people may not really feel as though they have control over their lives or a choice, and they're just trying to sell you some kind of dream versus showing you the reality, like a commercial almost. It's not really different than I'll give you an example. At one point, K-pop wasn't part of politics at all. In fact, it was quite shunned years ago, and then it became popular again, and then they began to use it for politics. And now, you actually had like members of BTS become like global ambassadors because they touch the world through their music. So there's a certain amount of responsibility and persona that comes with that. And if you mess up, not only is your country going to look down upon you, so will everyone else. So that's a lot of pressure. So just because it seems like maybe their life is so great and everyone thinks they're so amazing, maybe you don't realize that there's a lot of pressure for them to look like their life is great and that their life is amazing. You know, if the whole world is watching you, they watch you rise and they watch you fall. And the reason I use that example is, you know, for something that used to seem like it was nonsense, you know, it was just music, it turned into something very powerful and something that could be used as technically leverage in a way to connect. So be wary of others who would try and make you feel good or make something look good just to kind of sell you a dream and not necessarily what's going to be healing for you, what's going to make you feel powerful, what's going to make you feel talented. I'm really just getting a sense of being comfortable in your own skin even when a situation isn't very comfortable. So that's the first energy we've gone through about your day today versus the big wide world. And the next question, why is this message so important for you? We have Pisces, intuitive, following ideals, open to love, understanding emotions. So just really getting to know yourself, getting to know what feels good to you, and, you know, despite what goes on in the world around you, being able to trust yourself even when you move through life blindly. Like, let's say you have an idea and you have a great feeling about it. Maybe not everyone else does, but you do. And even if other people look down upon you, it feels right for you, it feels good for you, and it actually ends up being a very healing and beautiful experience for you. And the way you move through life is meant for you to follow your own path, not necessarily the path of others. And every situation is only temporary. It could change at any moment. And as long as you're stable within yourself and you've created a safe environment for yourself, even in the most chaotic of situations, you will find you do not falter because you trust yourself. And even if you fall, you have fallen before, and you can get back up and rebuild and reconstruct, and you learn to have hope and faith because you've proved to yourself you're worthy of having that hope, you're worthy of having that faith, and you're worthy of trusting in yourself. And as for the world, we have Leo, generous, conquering fiercely, following ambitions. At times, the world can seem quite daunting because there's always so much going on at once. And as I said before, any moment everything can change, and everyone has their own ambitions, everyone has their own goals. Everyone finds their own way through life, and no one person lives the exact same life. No one person thinks the exact same way. And that's one big reason why it's so important to know yourself, because only you can be you, only other people can be them. It's good to relate to others, but never see yourself as someone else, for you are no one else. And people can try and imagine themselves in your shoes, but they'll never know what it's really like to go through your emotions, to have your thoughts. It's just kind of like these different astrology symbols and different astrology charts. Just because you were born the same date as someone else, you could have a lot of different symbols and signs in your chart, and you could be a completely different person from someone you were born on the same day as. I used to know someone who was born on the same date as me, but we were completely different. They were someone kind of, when I met them at the time I was in elementary school, I was a very confident person. And this person was kind of insecure. They were more friendly. I would consider myself friendly, but standoffish. So just because we were going to the same school and just because we knew each other quite well, I would spend time with this person outside of school. Even though we both had the exact same birthday, we were not the same at all. In fact, a lot of the things that we liked were quite different. So just recognize who you are. You don't have to necessarily know everything that's going on around you all the time. Some of you might be overthinkers. If you overthink and you think about something too much, you're kind of wasting your own time. You already know the answer based on what it is you're feeling. It's just sometimes we're taught that closure and reasoning is above feelings, and there's no such thing. You have to balance that. You have to recognize your emotions and your reasons for feeling those emotions. But that doesn't mean that you'll ever fully understand the true depth of your emotions. That doesn't mean you'll truly understand the origin of where they come from and how you originally came up with that. Next, how to be more open to messages from your spiritual family. We have seen the truth. Recognize that your spiritual family is not here to sugarcoat things. They're here to show you the truth and help your soul evolve and help you live your best life. And just because you don't see the truth in that moment, it doesn't mean that the truth is not there right in front of you. Venus and Sagittarius, lower versus higher self, accepting all about you. Confirmation of what I said. Sometimes there are things about ourselves and about life that we don't necessarily love, and you don't have to love it, but you do need to accept it, because to just be blind and walk blindly on purpose, you might accidentally on purpose fall off a cliff on just because you didn't want to see something. Some people, they don't want to see the truth, or they don't want to see things how they really are. In all honesty, that just puts more burden on top of their other burdens, because usually they'll focus more on what they do want versus seeing their burdens or seeing the truth of the matter and dealing with it. If you just go ahead and deal with something, like, for example, if you just go ahead and do your laundry when the basket is full and you put up all your clothes, it's really not very stressful. Whereas if you put off doing your laundry, the laundry is just going to build and build, and by the time you do it, you have all this laundry. And if you don't put up your laundry, you can never really find what you're looking for, that shirt you wanted to wear Tuesday, and if you do find it on Tuesday, it's all wrinkly and you don't have time to iron it, so you cause all this unnecessary burden, all this unnecessary stress. It's just a very quick and simple way to look at it. Not everything in life is that simple and easy to look at, but the whole point is looking at it even if you don't necessarily want to, but just accepting it for what it is. That doesn't mean that you have to like it or be that way or have that in your values. You have Aries, showing initiative, rushing forward, being bold and courageous. The more you see and the more you know, the more you can go forward with the strength and courage that you need, because you've already faced so much and you already know so much, and you recognize you have the ability to gain more knowledge and accept it without it necessarily harming you or overwhelming you. Once you accept the craziest of things and that they're reality, when more crazy things come your way, it's easier to deal with. Or even just the simplest of things really get even more simple, because you're flowing and you're going with the flow versus fighting it. When you're trapped in a current, if you try to swim up that current, it's going to keep pushing you back and you won't really get very far. Whereas if you just go with the current, you will get somewhere. It may not be necessarily where you want to go, but maybe you were meant to go in that direction for a reason, and it's so much safer for your health and your own safety to just ride that current versus fighting it and running out of energy and possibly, succumbing to the current and being underwater and no one finds you. Versus if you just follow the current, eventually maybe you can find land and you can find help to get back to wherever it was you were before, or maybe you'll enjoy this new direction. Now for the world, we have Selena in Capricorn, fantasy brought in intimacy. I'm getting sometimes people want to just sell a fantasy again. People will try to talk to you like they understand you, to try and sometimes get you on their side or to connect with you so you feel safe and valued. And then when you feel you're most safe, they'll do one or two things. You'll find out they lied to you, they never understood you all along, they do something disrespectful, or you feel connected for the rest of your lives and you see them as a kindred spirit and you feel seen and heard and understood. True connections are more valuable than any connection that you could buy, because it's real, it's authentic. It can survive any kind of drought, any kind of famine, any kind of disaster that comes its way, because that's an unbreakable bond. Versus the other kind is something very temporary, and at the first signs of stress or issues, you just break apart or it falls apart. And the reason that happens is it wasn't a real bond to begin with. So be true to yourself, bond with yourself. When you recognize yourself, you will recognize other people who speak to your soul, because you're listening to your soul. And it's okay to, have other people in your life that are different. but choose not to take those things personally. That person is not you. Only you can be you. Take what you do personally, because only you truly know what's best for you and what is not, whether you want to face it or not. And everyone's just trying to do what's best for them, and some people don't know what's best for them and they don't even try. So once again, just really try and get to know yourself so you can recognize everything around you and whether or not it's actually for you. And for number 4, how to better connect with your spiritual family. Sign in Taurus, hidden truths discovered. Recognize that they're just here to help you, not hurt you. And even though sometimes you feel like you're betrayed or disturbed, it's technically you who are betraying or disturbing yourself, because even if it's your spiritual family, the same rules apply to your spiritual family that apply to everyone else, You do have to say, you must treat me with respect. You will have ancestors who've passed on and they don't always know what's best for you. They just think they do. The best way to connect with your spiritual family is to connect as yourself and to be responsible for yourself. And don't just solely rely on them to make your decisions. I've definitely been taught this by my spiritual family. When I was reawakened later in life, I wanted them to give me all the answers, and sometimes they would give me mixed answers, and I would say, aren't you supposed to help me and show me the clearest, truest path? And they said, our job is to show you the paths available. It is your job to show yourself which path is best for you. You have your own wants, needs, emotions, and soul. We can't always be there for you 100% all the time. We can't just let you be a mindless zombie wandering around, letting someone else do everything for you. That's not living. That's basically putting yourself into your own kind of slavery. And it just really doesn't make sense to say that you're evolved or you're evolving if you're relying on someone else to give you all the answers. It's no different than when you take a test in school. If someone just hands you all the answers, you're never going to be able to understand why that is the answer and why it's right or wrong. And if you just cheat and look on someone else's paper, if you actually need that knowledge, you're just going to be completely clueless and confused, and you'll feel completely helpless. So the best way to connect with them is for guidance, not for them to give you the easy cheats for life. They're here to help you, not to live your life for you. Now, as for the world, we have teleportation. Time means nothing. You get things done quickly. A lot of times you don't realize how much you've done in a day unless you've written it all down. A lot of times you don't realize how many emotions you've gone through unless you've gone through them. I remember when I was born in the 90s and there was no talk of AI at all, really. The thought of such a thing as virtual reality was something only in anime. And now it's a real thing. The world will keep moving even when you stop. And sometimes something happens so quickly you don't even know how it happened. But it doesn't always matter how you got there. What matters is you're here. What will you do now? So try not to get overwhelmed by how much is going on. Ask yourself, who am I and what am I doing? How am I changing the world? What am I creating in the world? Even the smallest thing like a sneeze can change the world. You may have a virus and not know it. When you sneeze, like all the little molecules from your nose actually goes like pretty far out. It doesn't just, when you sneeze, even if it's in your hands, whatever, it's no different than water going through your hands. You know, that sneeze can go through your hands. You know, that's why it's always important to cover your mouth, your nose to the best of your abilities, because for all you know, you could have something and not know it, and before you know it, everyone else catches it. It's not really that different. It's like water will flow, you can try and catch it, but it's not really catchable. Time is the same thing. Life is not measured by how many moments there are, but how you spend that moment. So try to be present and try to see what you can do right now. Don't worry about the things you can't do or what will be. You could plan your whole future. That means nothing. The future can change in an instant. That's why I kind of gave those examples that I gave. Now for the 5th question, how are your spiritual family trying to connect with you? Venus and Leo, material love, hidden pain, indulgence. Once again, we have indulgence coming up. What's something you really love that makes you feel good that you feel like you can't have, and why do you feel like you can't have it? For some of you, there's some kind of lack mindset. You know, I always tell myself, you know, when I see something that I want, I say, I'll get there one day. And I don't focus on the how or the why. I just say, I can do it. And somehow, some way, I'll find a way. Details are important, yes. But sometimes the dream is more important. The hope, the faith, the thought that counts is more important than, you know, the actual action. Whatever your intention is what matters most, not necessarily what you do or what you did. So you created a brand new kind of flower, maybe. What was your intention? Was it because it was just beautiful, or did you just want to create something no one else did? Or, you know, really look at your intentions right now. Your spiritual family, they're trying to show you what your true intentions are in everything that you do. How you treat yourself, how you treat the others, how you treat the world. And how they're trying to connect with you is maybe they're showing you things that you may not want to see. Or maybe they're trying to teach you things you've never learned before. Or maybe they're trying to show you that whatever you have right now, like I said, it's only temporary. We only have this one life, and when we pass from this realm into another, depending on what you believe in and wherever you go, you can't take any of that with you. Sure, you can remember past lives, but you can't relive that past life. And sure, we can look at the past lives of others and what has happened, but that doesn't mean it'll happen the same exact way. It's just simply a way to teach you certain lessons. You know, this is the way they did it. Based on how they did it, what will you do? And as for the world, we have mystical, connected to gods. Once again, I'm really just getting like a worldwide awakening kind of experience. Can't really see that, can you? So, there we are. Lilith and Aries, commitment long term. What do you see being created around you, and what can you create that will create a type of stability you can be proud of? What legacy do you want to leave behind, and what legacy do you see is being left for others by others? Notice how other people are leading. Notice how other people are giving examples. How are you leading? Are you leading at all, or are you just lost? What kind of example are you giving? Darkness, connected to the dark. To find the light, you must first see the darkness. With the darkness comes the light. Even in the most deepest parts of ourselves, there's a light. There is a reason, there is a meaning. It's like serial killers, terrorists, you know. The fact that those kind of people exist, it sucks, but there's a reason why they're here, to teach us who we don't want to be. And, you know, we learn from them how their mind works, how their brain was formed. Basically, you can learn what not to do, how not to live, and, you know, sometimes based on how your brain was developed, or, you know, if your parents took drugs while you were in their womb. Like, some babies are born addicted to meth because their parents never quit. And it's a hell of a shame. But we have to recognize that there is that darkness out there, because if we refuse to face it, if we don't learn to deal with it, to adapt to it, and then if something like that happens to us, or we experience that personally, we don't just see it on the news, we'll try and do our best when it comes to handling that kind of situation. And you can predict the future, you can predict this moment, but 10 minutes from now, that prediction may no longer come true. People constantly change their mind, and people constantly change what they're going to do. For example, I'll see people doing tarot reads for the rest of the year or the whole month, and I think to myself, you know, just because I wanted a whole cake yesterday, I might not want cake at all today. So a reader could say, oh, you know, you ate all this cake, you were happy you got the craving, but, you know, now you have all this sugar in your system and you're going to need to detox it. And you're going to think, why did I eat all that cake? You know, it really wasn't very good for my body. I don't feel so great. Just because I was craving it, it doesn't mean it was good for me. And, you know, that reading would technically be wrong. Not to diss tarot readers who do that. Some people feel more secure if they get a long-term reading like that. But energy is just as fluid as water, and your energy quickly changes. Your energy changes as quickly as your thoughts change. Your thoughts equal your energy. People can sense when you're unhappy because your thoughts are creating your energy. So, really think about things like that. Sun in Leo, trusting yourself, self-love, self-care. You know, even if things don't go the way you want to, or even if you see someone harming themselves, you know, just try and set a good example. You know, if someone has a problem, just say, you know, when I have that issue, this is what I do. Don't tell them, this works great for me, it'll work great for you. That's not guaranteed. You know, some people have a vitamin D deficiency, some people have a vitamin B deficiency. Right now, it's that time of the month for me, and I'm bleeding, so I'm taking an iron supplement every day because I'm technically losing a lot of blood, and there are people who lose more. And I'm trying to replace iron with more iron because I have a tendency to be more kind of like anemic. I feel kind of sickly. I don't feel well, but if I take an iron supplement, I find it to be helpful. I feel so much better. So just because something is good and healthy for you doesn't mean it's healthy for someone else. So always say, you know, find your own self-care. No one has the answer to solve everything for everyone. For some people who have chemo, you know, chemo helps them. For other people, chemo doesn't help them. Chemotherapy helps some people. For some people, it makes everything worse and they quit. Some people are better off trying holistic methods, and some people are allergic to anesthesia. Some people aren't. You know, that's a reason why we get tests. That's a reason why, you know, they put a little thing on your wrist that tells you what you're allergic to. Now, sometimes it's unfortunate because some health professionals pay no mind to that bracelet. My mom can attest to that. She's allergic to morphine, and the doctors gave her morphine after neck surgery, and they wanted to send her home right after neck surgery, throwing up all day. You know, you have to think of, this is best for me. I want to teach others what's best for me. But just because it works for me every single time, that doesn't mean it's going to work for them. That's why you need to trust yourself. Follow your own guidance. If something feels right, it feels right. If it feels wrong, it feels wrong. And if other people try to confuse you, they literally can't, because you know yourself. You know what's good for you. You know what's not. Just because everyone else likes to wear fur, maybe you're allergic to fur and you have a bad reaction, so you have to wear like just really thick cotton or something, you know. So pay attention to what's best for you, not what's best for everyone else. And when you're giving advice and when you're trying to set a good example, just say, this is so helpful for me. It really opened my eyes. Like, I personally make recommendations, but I will never tell you how to live your life because it's not mine. That's why I always believe in telling you how I honestly see something and what my values are, because I want to show you who I am. And I want you to know that I recognize I'm different from you. That's why I'll say, you know, I'm firm but fair. I'll tell you what I honestly think, but I won't judge you, because there's no point in me judging you. I'm not you. I'll tell you what I think in a situation, I'll tell you how I feel, I'll tell you what I think is best, but ultimately it's up to you to live your own life. I can't do that for you. And it's the same thing with your spiritual family. You know, they can try and help you and say, I think this is best for you, or this could be best for you, but ultimately it's up to you. And just because the world falls apart doesn't mean you have to. Just because everyone else looks like they have everything together and you don't, that doesn't mean it's true. Some people have to look like they have it all together. You know, not everyone can just free fall it. I just free fall it. I'll tell you if I'm not feeling well, etc. Or you know, if I'm having like a difficult time, you can usually tell. Because transparency is the best policy. But, you know, don't share everything with everyone, because what you say and do can always be used against you. It's not just true in a court of law. There really are evil, cruel people out there who would love nothing better to take advantage or just sell you something so they can get $20 for like a Happy Meal or something. I don't go to McDonald's. I don't know how much a Happy Meal is. I don't even know if they have Happy Meals. Honestly, their food is gross to me. The only real restaurants I like to go out to eat at is like Taco Bell and Popeyes. And I know that at Taco Bell, their steak technically comes liquid in a can. I still eat it anyway because I just like the way it tastes. And if I don't feel like just eating crap food, I literally make my own food. Usually, honestly, I make my own food. It's very rare I'll eat out because I don't know if that person washed their hands. I don't know if they're following safety protocol, and I don't know if, you know, the food that was shipped there was properly done or not. Do I grow my own food? Whatever. No, but I try my best with what I have, and I think to myself, you know, I'm making this food out of love and respect for myself, and I always bless my food, and I always say thank you for the food, and I always tell my spiritual family, let's eat up, fam, eat first, and like, I'll let them have first dibs at my food or whatever, and then I'll eat it. Like, that's something cute that I do. So that's one way, like, I every day connect with them whenever I eat. I'll be like, is it good? Some food I'll go to eat and they'll be like, you can have that, I don't want it. And I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna eat it by myself. Like, there's an example of like, just because you like it doesn't mean your spiritual family will, and vice versa. So the last question, what's gonna change after this reading for you and then the world? We have Selena in Taurus, instinct, gut, feeling, intuition. You're going to be recognizing that your instincts are more important, that your gut feelings are more important, that your intuition's important. In fact, you may figure out a better way to connect with yourself. You may find a better way to connect with your spiritual family. You may realize, oh, they were trying to be helpful, not hurtful, and you know, they have their own, I heard disabilities. It's true. Like, angels, demons, people, other entities, they all have their own wants and needs, and they all have minds of their own. Same things with gods, goddesses, and the God, you know? They all have their own plan. And you have your own plan, so what plan feels right for you? So I think you're really going to be focusing on that. And so you're going to be able to listen to yourself better, and you're actually going to get good results if you do that. You can never fail when you listen to your soul, to your intuition. Even if it seems crazy. You know, sometimes I'll feel like, I don't think I should buy that, or I don't think I should eat that, even though I'm like craving it. It sounds good. I just have this feeling I shouldn't do it. And then next thing I know, there's like a bird flu outbreak, or I find out those blueberries are contaminated or something. And I'll be like, I'm so glad I didn't eat that, or I didn't do that. It seemed weird at the time. Yeah, I was really craving it. I really wanted it, but just something felt off. So you'll be catching yourself flowing like that. And is it going to flow like that all the time? No, because sometimes we're like, oh, that just seems silly. And then you'll be like, oops, sure, listen to myself. It seems silly. It wasn't silly. Because by thought and reasoning, you can think, I'm just being silly. No, your body was warning you. Your body was telling you. So listen to your body. Sometimes your mind logically, it's like telepathy. I fully believe in telepathy with other people. I've experienced things like that. I can tell someone something about themselves I've never met. I didn't even know who they were, but you know, they're a country away, doesn't matter. I still connect with them. It's the craziest thing in the world. Now, logically, you would be taught, you know, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, or science would try and find a way to explain it, but a lot of times people ask me, how is that possible? I just say magic. Magic can't be explained. Miracles can't be explained. It's like, I saw this one episode where these two little girls, they were like 12 or whatever. Their dad had like a tractor or something fall over on them, and there's no way they could normally lift this freaking tractor. I don't remember the exact story, but I'm giving a similar example because it was just as seemingly impossible. And they could tell that this thing was trying to literally like split their dad in half. And with all their might, with all their power, they were able to push it off their dad, and he survived. Was it physically possible? No, not really, but the miracle found a way. So don't try to find reasoning in everything. That's just going to drive you mad, and you're going to seriously drive yourself insane for no good reason. Sometimes magical things just happen. And I can personally attest to this in my own way. Like I said, sometimes I'll get this feeling like, oh, I'm really craving this, I want to eat it, but I get this feeling like I shouldn't, like that's a bad idea. And then I'll find out, you know, it's a good thing I didn't want it. And then sometimes it's a fluke. I do it anyways, and I was like, actually, it was a great idea. So it really just, sometimes it's a hit and a miss, you know? So I'm telling you this because I don't want you to just rely on your instincts all the time, all the time, all the time. 95% of the time you're going to be right, but there is that 5% where it's just going to be like you were feeling off, so your intuition is off, or you had some kind of chakra blockages, or, you know, mental blockages. You had something going on. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep. You're not thinking straight. You feel disconnected from your body, you know. That happens. Now, how the world will change after this reading, we have Lilith and Taurus, a love-hate relationship. I'm hearing that Blackpink song, La 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 La. How you love to hate me, La 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 La. How you love to hate me. It's basically a song about how you can hate on me all you want. I'm still gonna keep being me. I'm still gonna keep chilling. You're over there all stressed out over what I'm doing. I'm over here relaxed because I'm just focused on me. So you're going to be focusing more on yourself. And I'm going to warn you, some people are totally going to hate that. A lot of people, for whatever stupid reason, really hate confidence. And some people are really judgmental, like, oh, how dare they cheat, whatever. I think it's not good. I think it's not healthy, but it's not my relationship, so why am I stressed out about it? You know, I can't do anything about it. I can't change that person's mind. If they think cheating's cool, they think cheating's cool. You know, I can't be them. I'm not a puppet master over here. I'm not going to sit here and be like, let me wave a magic wand. No, I'm just going to be like, well, I'm just glad that I'm not in that kind of relationship. And I'm glad that I don't have to hang out with them. You know? We can mourn things for people, but, you know, ultimately, there's nothing we can really do sometimes. And a lot of times, if you try and take matters into your own hands, you just really make the situation worse. For example, anytime you try to be the messenger, you're going to get a lot of hate. Me, I'll be the messenger. If I see someone cheating on you, I'm straight up going to tell. This person's cheating, this person's this person's that. When I was young, I had someone cheat on me, I cheated on them. I was like, okay, 2 wrongs equal a right. No. As I'm an adult, I'm like, okay, I learned cheating based on some of the adults I grew up with. They made me think, okay, that's acceptable, it's fine, sure. They teach you it's illogical, immoral, whatever. I can do whatever I want. The reason why I don't think cheating is good is you don't know where all that person is going and what they're getting. And people lie about whether or not they have diseases, okay? And not everybody washes their hands every time they use the bathroom. Especially men. They think just because they don't get like pee on them, it's not a big deal. For all you know, this guy pooped all over his hands and touched the doorknob, and you just touched that same doorknob and you didn't wash your hands. So you have quadruple whatever bacterial matter you had before. So keep that in mind, okay? No, you didn't pee on yourself. And even if you're at your own home, like, while you sleep, bacteria is all over you. While you're awake, bacteria is all over you. There's a reason why there are showers. I mean, for example, the guy who invented hand washing when giving birth. Everyone called him insane, called him stupid, but he found when he washed his hands and helped people give birth, more babies survived, more mothers survived. They called him crazy, they committed him, he died thinking he was crazy. A few years later, they think he's a genius. I mean, people will literally prosecute the hell out of you even if you're right. And they'll persecute you till the day you die, so it don't matter if they hate you. You know, love or hate you, they notice you. That means you're doing something worth paying attention to. Now, it doesn't matter what's, you know, this person or that person. It doesn't matter if blue doesn't like green. Blue is still blue and green is still green. And when they come together, they make a pretty color. And if they don't come together, they can just be blue and green. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. We have angelic, direct connection to angels. So all around the world, angels are trying to get in touch with people. I'm hearing some dark, some light. You'll know if they're dark based on how they act. You'll know if they're light based on how they act. Yes, there are dark angels. There are dark angels. And that doesn't make them demons. I mean, who do you think fights wars? It's not just light angels, you know. Sometimes you gotta have dark angels to fight the wars that the light angels can't fight, because sometimes the light can't touch the dark and sometimes the darkness can't touch the light. There's a balance there. There are dark angels. People praying to angels all the time. That might be a dark angel, so keep an eye out. And I think you're going to be recognizing who is dealing with, you know, people say they speak to angels. Well, are you speaking to dark angels or light angels? Personally, I speak to both because I recognize both exist. They're no different than people. There are people who have good intentions and people who have bad intentions. And then there are people who are neutral, like me. I'm not a bad person, but, you know, if you do something terrible to someone I love, I might be seen as a bad person because I may or may not commit a crime. It depends on what you did. If you go and hit my loved one with a baseball bat, I'm probably going to hit you till you don't breathe. And it's not just because I live in the South. That's just, I've got an attitude problem. And, you know, I reel it in. I've done plenty of anger management, but, you know, I can reel it in just fine. But if I see someone, if I witness something completely out of pocket, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely unhinged. And I know what I'm doing, and I would be that person in the courtroom saying, yes, I did it, and I did it again. Get a baseball bat. Oh, wait, you can't. You can't hold nothing. You did. And I laugh about that. But that is someone's son, that is someone's daughter that they've lost. And I'm forever going to say, you know, what I did, it wasn't any better than the person who picked up the bat. But guess what? There's nothing they can do anymore. And as disgusting as that is, that brings me peace of mind. You know, I am just as dark as I am light, and I have no problem admitting that. I tell people openly, I own a gun. Yes. Never own a gun unless you're willing to take someone's life, because that's what it does. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. It's like a tree. If a tree is just sitting there minding its own business, it's fine. But if someone chops it down in the wrong direction and it happens to fall on them, officially that tree is a weapon. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. So don't be cutting down trees unless you know which angle it's going towards. Don't get a gun unless you're actually willing to destroy your life and someone else's. Because once you kill someone, you'll never be the same. Fortunately, I've never had to take anyone's life. I've definitely been in fights, whatever. I have seen my animals die before me. I had an animal die in my arms that I deeply loved, and you know what I said? I said, you were so good, I love you so much, even as I saw it gasp its last breath. I've seen death. I've experienced death in real life. I've seen a beautiful creature I considered my little fur baby, my little baby, I watched it die in front of me. I've had plenty of experience with death. I know the weight of it. Yes, I talk about it like it's nothing, but trust me, it's not nothing. I know it's a struggle, it's a suffering. So don't say things if you don't really mean them. Don't tell someone to kill themselves if you don't really mean it, because for all you know, that person is going to actually do it. And you're going to live with that guilt the rest of your life. I know some people who do that. I've never really believed in that, because I've had people do that to me, and I did actually try. And yeah, thanks so much for convincing me that I wasn't worthy. I actually believed you, but I thank you, because thanks for showing me that my life was worth it, because here I am today teaching people, don't be cruel to people just to be cruel to people. If you want to fuck someone over, just, you know, you can do it yourself. You're already doing it yourself. You're pushing everyone away. Okay, you can hate yourself, but don't spread that hate to other people. It does no good. Everyone's miserable. Congratulations. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. We have Selena in Aquarius. Freedom is everything. Yes. You have a choice. What will you choose in this moment? Don't do the crime if you can't pay the time. Don't say it if you don't want that other person to remember it the rest of their life. The people that have been cruel to me and to others, I remember what you did and I'm going to remember the rest of my life. I forgive you and I want to forget you, but sadly I can't. But just know I'm not ever going to have anything to do with you again because you hurt me on purpose. When I spend time with you, that's me wanting to hurt myself on purpose because I knowingly and willingly go to you knowing you're going to hurt me, okay? There's no point in asking why you hurt me because I'm not you. You could tell me whatever you want. I'm still not really going to know why you want to hurt me. You just want to hurt me. And if I knowingly go to someone who hurts me on purpose, I'm hurting myself on purpose. So recognize when someone hurts you on purpose, don't go back. 9 times out of 10, they enjoy hurting people because they enjoy hurting themselves. And as crappy as that sounds, it's very true. I used to be, when I was a kid, I was a hateful, hurtful person. I grew up with a lot of hateful, hurtful people. And you know what I did? I ditched every single one of them. The only people I have anything to do with in my family is my sister and my mom. And sometimes, depending on whether or not we agree or disagree, we keep our distance because we know that's not healthy. I couldn't tell you how many people I've left behind, but I can tell you how many people I can count on. Because I don't care about the people I had to leave. They didn't care about me. Why should I care? I need to worry about myself. I need to focus on myself. Because if I can be 110%, if I can show up correct, I can help other people. It's no different than the whole airplane thing. Put on your mask, save yourself. You could probably save like 20 people because you have oxygen, where some people just panic and go, oh my God, what do I do? Or, small children, maybe they can't reach the mask. You never know. So help yourself, help others, and don't pay attention to the haters. They already hate themselves more than they hate you. They just are trying to distract themselves from hating themselves, okay? And if you hate someone because they're a terrible person, you're really wasting your time when you could be finding people to love, and just be grateful you're not that person. That's how you learn to forgive. I just say, I'm so grateful they're not in my life. I'm so grateful I can choose to move and never see them again. I can delete their number. I can block them. I have free will. And so do they. So what will you choose today? That got a lot deeper than I thought it would, but that was interesting. That was crazy. Crazy for Cuckoo Puffs. Anybody remember that commercial? Frosted Flakes, they're great. Anybody remember that commercial? Way back in the day. Remember the Kool-Aid Man? Back in the day, I used to think the Kool-Aid Man was cool. Now that I'm an adult and I saw that commercial, I was like, this is so not okay. He ripped through their wall. Guarantee you he's not going to fix it. And that's breaking and entering just so he can say Kool-Aid. That is so rude and disrespectful. Like, what? It's amazing how your mind changes from child versus an adult. You're like, yeah, I want to burst through walls like that. As an adult, you're like, that looks expensive. I don't know what kind of punch he's drinking. I don't want it. He's drinking the wrong kind of Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? So, current energy. I'm hearing darkness won't touch my heart. Oh God, I'm hearing that song. Open your heart to me, darling. I'll hold the lock. I'll be the lock if you hold the key. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Madonna just because, well, for one, she's written in her book about open bestiality, and I just think that's gross. I've actually met someone who was like that, and usually they're people who aren't good with people and not animals don't always have free will. People chain them up, so I think that's disgusting. And if you don't like that, I don't care. I'm living my life, not yours. Anyway, I think she's gross. The end. I don't think she really learns from her mistakes. And the fact that she makes out with women just for publicity stunt versus actually being interested in women and living a lie, that's just not my style. It's very rare I'll say someone is disgusting, but that woman legitimately, I think she's kind of disgusting. I don't believe also in dating someone who's like 20 or 30 years younger than you. You know, that's like dating a baby. So advice. What is the advice for my loves, for my collective? And we'll use bottom of the deck as like the world energy. That was interesting. That one almost flipped. Honestly, my mom has a lot of Madonna songs. And my sister and her read her book because I probably never would. I feel really bad for people who've worked with her. I found out that one of her most famous music videos ever, she didn't really pay that guy or give him any credit. So I find that disgusting as well. Just her morals don't match mine in a really big way. Yeah. It's gross. It's negligence. I don't believe in negligence. Negligence is gross to me. So, I'm not going to try and pronounce that. I've done it before. I don't feel like getting tongue-tied already and doing that because it's like way past my bedtime, but here I am. With the sword, she seeks peace under liberty. The truth shall set you free. Remember, your truth will always set you free. If you're true to yourself and you speak your truth, you can never go wrong. For you. That doesn't mean the rest of the world will agree with you, okay? I've found that out personally. I've had a whole group of people tell me I'm wrong, and I still was like, I don't care. I am right in my eyes. Guess what? I left them behind. Your own truth is what matters, not anyone else's truth. People can tell you, you did this, that, and the other. If you didn't really do it, you didn't really do it. And even if, like, you're persecuted till the day you die, stick with your truth. There are some innocent people. It's like that book, Bones, that got turned into a movie. An innocent man was persecuted because of that book. So the author made a bunch of money, but an innocent person died. How sad is that? That's crazy. So the world. See the truth in the world. Speak your own truth in the world and be set free. And for you personally, he flies by his own wings. Boom, a confirmation. Fly by your own wings. You're meant to fly. You're meant to have your own version of freedom. And if people don't understand that, that's none of their business. It's just like my opinion about like Madonna, about bestiality, that's nobody's business but mine. I only said that because we were talking about morals. Normally I don't bring that up, but we were talking about morals in the world. And one of her songs popped in my head, and I was like, you know, considering we're on the topic of morals, I have never been to one of her concerts. I would never go. When her music comes on, I'm like, she sings like a little baby, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. I used to, okay, my mom hated this because like when the song Like a Virgin came on, I'd sing it like this, like a virgin, hey, touch for the very first time. That's how I'd sing it, and my mom hated the fuck out of me for that. She thought it was so annoying. My sister thought it was hilarious until the hour went by. So yeah. Sure, I know the lyrics over and over because my mom likes that music, but I don't. So I make sure to you know, I'll sing along with her, but that doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it like she does. I'm enjoying myself when I sing it like that, okay? And if you didn't know I could sing like a chipmunk, there you go. I could be an alto or a soprano. It's whatever I feel like doing. I'm the in-between. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called, but yeah, I'm an in-betweener. Same thing for people. I fall for the soul, not the sex. And I've had some very interesting conversations with some straight men who have had crushes on me from different religions. Like, I met this one guy who practiced Islam, and he was talking about relationships between, like, he didn't believe in gays and stuff, and I said, oh, so you were flirting with me, does that mean you hate me? Because you're talking about how, you know, you don't like those kind of people. And he was like, well, I've just seen TikToks and stuff of, you know, people who are gay or whatever, of them telling little kids, how do you know you're not gay? And I was like, I mean, just because someone's doing something for clout, it doesn't mean you hate all gays. I mean, I've had plenty of gay friends, and I've had girlfriends and boyfriends. So I was like, I literally went, I've had girlfriends and boyfriends. So ... And they're like, so you like men and women? And I was like, I fall for the soul, not for the person. Like, even if you said I'm a tree, like, I hug trees. It's not that I'd ever make out with them or fall in love with them like the movie Superstar. That's disgusting. I hated that movie. I was like, poor friggin' tree. She traumatized it. Like, I can't even. Really? You're gonna degrade that poor tree? I felt sorry for that tree. And I hope they didn't practice that scene more than once. That's all I'm gonna say. Because she straight up molested that tree, bro. And I'm sure there's people, I mean, I knew a guy who had sex with cars. And I was like, I feel sorry for the car, you know? That car can't run. I'm just a special person like that. I don't think about the fact that it's an inanimate object. I just think about the fact that I'm like, why are you doing that? It didn't ask for that. I have this thing about, if you don't give permission, it's not okay. It's probably because of my own trauma and trauma I've witnessed from other people. It's not okay. If you don't have permission, don't do it. Like I said, same thing. My opinion, that's my opinion. If you don't like it, you know, just say, I don't agree with you. And, you know, leave me alone the rest of my life. I accept that fully. I love my own company. If I end up being one of those little hermits who live by themselves forever, you know, in the middle of nowhere, that sounds pretty chill, you know. Make my own food. The whole no AC thing, though, I'd have to find a way to get some AC, you guys. I need some electricity. I love AC too much. Trust me, I've worked in plenty of conditions, and I've been in plenty. I've lived in places without AC. I've worked in conditions where it's like 99 degrees and up, and you gotta sit there and work for like 2-3 hours straight in full, you know, whatever they want you to wear, and you're sitting there dying, and you're like, well. And what's funny is, if you got heat stroke or you threw up, they would just tell you to go home. Thankfully, it never happened to me, because I would go and, like, find a fridge or a freezer to go stand in. You know, eventually they were kind enough to give us, you know, cold water. They'd be like, let's leave them, you know, give them some ice and some water bottles in a chest. Sure, the ice is melted, but you know, the water was cold at some point. So there's that. Working conditions are still like that. I mean, I live in the US, home of the free and the brave, right? Maybe. Honestly, I don't think any government really lets you truly be free because there are rules and regulations. You know, that's why some people completely go off grid. That way, if they want to be like nudist cults or, you know, nudist colonies, that's a thing. You know, they go off and live their own way. I personally don't want to see everyone around me naked. I could never live in a place like that. Okay. I personally, most I'll do when I see myself naked is I'll look at, you know, how defined do my abs look and how big are my arms now? And wow, my legs be legging. And how firm is my butt right now? Do I need to walk more? That's about it, really. And if it doesn't look the way I want, I'm like, guess what? You can work on it. That's it. Other than that, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. You try to eat healthy. You try to take care of yourself. Great job. You got wrinkles? Congratulations. You survived long enough to get wrinkles. I'm so proud of you. I'm never gonna get like Botox or work done because I was born this way probably for a reason. I'm cool with it. And if, you know, I get called old, ugly, or whatever, okay, and why don't you go look at somebody who's not old or ugly? Calm down. I didn't realize I was born just for you to be your type. Damn, calm down. I didn't realize I was the last person left on the earth for you to look at. I mean, I thought there were billions, and I thought there were different cultures too. I'm just some random white southern chick just running her mouth. Like, I didn't realize it was this deep for you. I didn't realize we were connected like that. Are we soulmates? Did someone not tell me? Are you the other half of my soul? Oh wait, my soul's completely here. Who are you? I can't help you. You go help yourself. Just like if I don't like someone's hair, I'll be like, I do not like their hair. Guess what? I never have to look at their hair again. And if I see that hair, I'll just look the other way, you know, because sometimes you walk by someone and, you know, you don't like something that they're wearing or something they're doing. I'll just look the other fucking way. It's that simple, really. You don't like it, turn around. I do that, legitimately. I start walking towards someone, I don't like their energy, I will turn around and find another path. I don't care if it takes me 3 more hours. It was great. I spent it just chilling versus dealing with this 15-minute walk and this 15-minute person. Some people might be like, are you insane? Yes. Yes. You ask a silly question, you get a silly answer. I will pick 3 hours of peace over 15 minutes of what the hell is this? Straight up. Yes. And some people will be like, what about work? Smarter, not harder. I think peace of mind is way smarter, and I think it's a lot harder work for me to try and keep my sanity, you know, when I could just feel peaceful, straight up. So I might be insane for thinking that way, but you know, it's a vibe. It's my vibe, and if you're not on my vibe, it's cool. Only I can be me, you know, and only you can be you. So there's all your confirmations to just be you. I hope you enjoyed our little chat. After this video, I'm going to be taking some time off, and we shall continue with day 14 when I get back. I'm going to take me a mini vacay because I've been doing this for 13 days in a row, and I love you. I love you, loves, but I need a break. This is a whole lot of energy. In fact, let's sage and cleanse together as like a temporary see you later. If I come back, I come back. If I don't, I don't. If I didn't, just know I'm probably having a great time. Remember, let's take this moment to inhale the positivity. Hold it for a second. Yes, it feels so good. And exhale any negativity. Congratulations, you are officially an alchemist. I am so proud of you. This is my angel candle. Here's some Palo Santo. Palo Santo. Palo Santo. Palo Santo. Will you light just a little bit? I mean a little bit more. It literally lit like that much. Okay, sure, why not? Spirito Santo. I wish you spiritual sanctuary and peace of mind and happiness. Oh yes, and me too. And me too. In fact, I'm going to sage myself a little bit more than you. Yes. So I'm the one over here like, let's channel the world. Just because we can. Who does that? Me. I do it. Yes, there we go. Fabulous. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed my cute little decks I made. I'm very creative. Yes, I am. It was so fun making these. It really was. I enjoyed it. I made them, I don't know how many years ago it was. It was within 10 years, so I could tell you that much. It was definitely after my first spiritual certification. What year was that? Let me go peek. 2021. It was after 2021. I know that much. So, yeah. It's been within the last, 5 years. Or whatever. Or hell, did I make it? No, I totally made it after. Because all my spiritual classes, I didn't get a certification. I probably took around 200 classes. How many certifications I got? Less than 20. Should I really count these? You can read it in my bio. I ain't counting that. I ain't counting all the things on my wall. It ain't that big a deal. Anyways, be true to yourself. Love yourself. Find love in all situations. And if you can't find any love at all, time to turn around. Time to turn around. You know what I'm saying? Just walk the other way. And if you can't walk the other way, just tell yourself you love yourself and I'm responsible. Anytime someone pisses you off, think to yourself, I am responsible. I love myself. And because I'm responsible and I love myself, what am I going to do in this moment to honor myself? What would I be proud of in this situation? And that can be very difficult to do. But as long as you say, I am responsible, usually that clicks in pretty quick. Because, you go into the, I'm responsible, I'm an adult. And if you're not an adult, just be responsible. That's best case scenario. Work hard, play harder, but be responsible no matter what, because you never know. The world's a crazy place. So, take care of yourselves, loves. And, yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed some of it. Some of it, I was like, did you really just say that? I'm going to leave it in there because that's just how I really think and feel. Yippee! For me to be me. It's fabulous. Many blessings to all. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what's up in your world. I'll check it. I don't know when I get back or something. We'll continue with day 14 whenever I come back. But I'm gonna go enjoy some time off. Keep my mom in your thoughts and prayers. Her knee is not the best right now during this time. I'm going to try and be helpful to her in her situation. So if you could do that, just send her good vibes. I'd appreciate that. I'm good. If you want to send me some extra good vibes, though, I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support, all your love, everything you do out of the pure kindness of your heart. I mean, that's really all I could ever ask for. really and truly, thank you. Thank you for loving me in a way that is just beautiful and pure. Really, that's so rare, so beautiful. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, more than you'll ever know. Many blessings, loves. Until I come back, I love you. Love, Magigoddess. Love you, loves. Until next time. Dun, dun, dun.